So to start this episode off, I want to give a shout out to Travis with TNT Performance. You have been extremely helpful through this whole ordeal, talking to me, giving me some advice, telling me what to do, saving me a little bit of time and money, maybe even experience, not knowing much about these things, but learning. But anyways, thank you guys. Enjoy today's episode of me and the X3. The Maverick, I think the clutch rollers that give out on it. When we got to the Eternal Flame, I pulled the cover off. I was going to swap the belt out and found out that the rollers was bad. So I opted not to change the belt out because I didn't want to cook my other one. So, for the bad news, guess I actually have to do some type of maintenance to this thing. Now, I just got the X3 serviced. I had a brand new belt and stuff put on. It didn't really need it, but I just went ahead and swapped the belt out. A couple little wear spots in it. So I figured preventive maintenance. Didn't want anything to tear up while I was out on the trail. Yeah, psych. So, I know how the clutch covers come off. Now you take all these surrounding bolts off and then you pull this tube off and this comes off. So I'm actually going to try to remove the clutches myself. I'm waiting on a phone call right now back about doing some KWI clutching. Not 100% cover any of this, but if I did place a warranty, they would probably just put, say, OE factory stuff back in place. Factory stuff. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it. We're going to remove this clutch cover off, and then I'm going to take this sway bar out of the way so I can get to the primary clutch. I am actually waiting on the primary clutch removal tool, so we'll see what we can do to get the secondary clutch off. I think I've read enough and watched enough videos. I might be able to do this myself, but we'll see how it goes. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and move this sway bar link out of the way. That way it's easier to get to the primary clutch when the time comes. Both are 18 millimeters. Front and back is 18, and then this one right here is 18 if I feel like I need to go ahead and disconnect this link all on its own. This little guy right here, if you haven't removed it, then it is a 7 millimeter. Also on the screws that hold the casing in, they are a T30 Torx bit. So taking those in and out, be careful because they are easily stripped. So I'm going to go ahead and try and knock this project out, set the camera up so you guys can watch. So to loosen this top link up right here, you're going to need a 21 millimeter wrench. Fits right in here just like that, and then bam, you got your link off. Alright, now we have the sway bar end link out of the way. We're going to go ahead and pull this clutch cover off. Like I said, T30, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 bolts. So let's get this off here. try my best not to make a bunch of shaky noises. Really don't know how helpful this ratchet is until you're trying to do this stuff out on the trail by hand. Lord knows I was working on this thing forever just to get these screws out. So I might look at the quick pin kit. Alright, now that I'm getting these bad boys out of here, collect my pile. I'll go for that guy. Like I said, 7mm on this one right here. Don't take much to get it loose. Get it up. Now, usually I don't worry about pulling it off until I get the cover itself to come off, and then it all just slides on down and out of the way. And slide it up out of here. It's easy, right? I heard my buddy saying the other day that his Polaris couldn't get it off or something. It was a pain in the butt because the shock and stuff was in the way. So anyways, the damage, if you can see, rollers on. Number 2 is missing, and number 3. So we're gonna see if we can get this off. We, as in me, get this belt off, get this off. I still have to take this bolt out, but there's also a tooling that I'm waiting on to pull this whole assembly off. So when it gets here, then we'll pull this off. All right, so your standard tools and stuff that came with your Can-Am, if you still have them or if you haven't used them before, this is the factory clutch removal tool. So this right here, this screws straight into this. Let's see if I can make it work. Gotta put my hand right. Screws directly into this clockwise. And then take this and you screw it in here. Now you see a lot of people talk about the clutch scarring tool, because when you dig into this you'll actually make a mark. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wedge a penny in there, keep it from scarring. It'll mess up the penny, it won't mess up the aluminum on the clutch. Alright, as you can see, I've already ran this down and I put my penny in here. So we're going to give it a shot. Going to see how this goes and hold the camera at the same time. Hopefully this gives you a good vantage point of what's going on. Use my 13mm impact. And let it read. That don't seem to work out too well. Not sure what I got going on here. Let me do some Googling and come back. Okay, after a small amount of trial and error and not figuring out why exactly it wasn't moving around. So since the rollers was busted, it has enough slack that I could pull the belt out anyways. So I finagled around and I got the belt out on the secondary. So now I'm going to wiggle around and get it off the primary. Easy enough. So, brand new belt. Guess we're going to have to go ahead and replace this bad boy. That's a good bit of money down the drain, but oh well. At least it tore up close to home. and not too far away from home. So I'm going to get this off, and then I'm going to break the bolt loose and try and pull this off. So this bolt right here is 17 millimeter. I'm going to use the impact and try and break it loose to drive it out to pull this whole assembly out. So I used 17 millimeter. I got the bolt out. If you notice, I guess the washer that was on there, it has a lip on it. Make sure you remember which way that goes back in whenever you go to put it back together. So apparently this is supposed to just slip right off. Oh man. And boy does it. That was pretty easy. That wasn't too bad. If you look down in there, roller is toast. That one's shot. And that one's shot. So right now all we're waiting on to get this bad boy off is that last nut and the clutch pulling tool. So I was going to split this into a couple different episodes, but I changed my mind. So anyways, I got my package in this morning from TNT Performance. Shout out to Travis and those guys. They are actually getting me taken care of and squared away on my clutch and stuff, everything that I need. This is the primary clutch puller tool. So we're going to take and get that bolt off, which is a 22 millimeter. And apparently you shove this bad boy in there, you do some turning and some twisting, and boom, it pops out. So that's what we're gonna see. All right, 22 millimeter. I'm gonna see how hard it is to get this bolt off. Put the swing arm out of the way. So that bolt wasn't so bad. See the camera? It's got some extra threads to it. Seems to be a rather long bolt here. There we go. Come with a washer. I was looking up torque specs this morning. I think this goes back in at 89 foot-pounds. So on this tool, Travis was telling me that has to be some grease on the threads and on the tip. Maybe a little bit excessive, but I'd rather have more than I need than not enough. So screwing this in here. Now I got my thread set. It is a 19 millimeter. We are going to go through this process and see what happens. So might have to get one for the impact to see if we can push it on out. So we got it off. It was definitely a pain in the ass. What I ended up doing was it's on the clutch. Had to find something to brace here between here and the skid plate and turn this, and then once you did and it came loose, it come hauling ass off of there. So be careful. Anyways, now I got this off. Gonna get my paperwork filled out and get this shipped out, and then hopefully we'll be back up rocking and rolling very soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this whole episode here, following me of personal progress of fixing and repairing the X3. Peace out, guys.